Okay, everything fine. You can sit. Please sit. Okay. Okay. So jy dit wat nie ken.
Ja.
Okay. Maar hy loop. Ja. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Rob, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for talking to us today. Did we just talk into this thing? Yeah, thanks a lot for talking to us today. Before we started, you told me that you were in this development of the nootropics for about 25 years. Is that correct?
Well, I'm a bit obsessive about getting things right. It's taken me a while to learn and write different supplements. I've basically taken everything I've known and try to incorporate it into as few supplements as possible.
Okay.
Because a lot of the time people don't want to use like 7 different things, they want to use one thing. So although that's almost impossible to do, I've gotten as close to what I think can be possible to do that.
Okay. And then why did you start? Why did you start with the whole nootropics thing? Why were you obsessed with it, specifically with the brain, with how it works, that kind of things?
Well, I think, life was sucked with anxiety, depression. Our brain is either our biggest asset, probably, and so I guess when I was younger, I was quite depressed. So that was, I tried out B vitamins to help myself with that, and with limited success. But it's also a matter of optimal performance. I've always studied a lot of self-help sort of things and how to be a better human. So the nootropic, it started off as a multivitamin, so it's the nootropic multi, so it's a multivitamin for body and brain, specifically to help you remain focused, remain calm. That's one of the biggest things. It just helps you to really relax and function at your peak performance. So as a result of that, a lot of people find benefits in different areas of their life. People often sleep better, they're more relaxed, and because they're more relaxed, I find relationships improving. So, it was just something that I wanted to do. I remember when I was at university, just thinking I want to create a multivitamin that's easy for people, that they don't have to think about it themselves. They don't have to do all the research. I'll do all the research and put in the best of the best. So that's kind of where I started with that. And there's been a lot of contributing factors to what I've put into it and how I've designed it. But yeah, optimal performance, I guess, was the thing, and to simplify supplementation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everything is natural, is that correct? Everything in the product is all natural products. It's all naturally harvested products, I would say. So the whole idea with this raise that I'm doing, so I do nootropics, but I do other supplements as well. I stick to what's termed endogenous nutrients. So when you study biochemistry, it was a class which we had xenobiotics. And a xenobiotic is something that's foreign to the body. So we studied the biochemistry of that. So these are all endogenous nutrients. What does that mean? It means nutrients that are naturally found in your body and actually expected to be found in the body. They're used in your day-to-day biochemistry. So it's not like a thing now you've got to package and you've got to get rid of it. It's like, no, these are the nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, modified amino acids, carbohydrate derivatives, coenzymes that your body uses in the day-to-day biochemistry for life and for growth. So that's what I've put in here, and that's also why I found it to be quite safe for all ages. I've had 2-year-olds on it. I had my grand was number 4 when she was using it. So it's very safe, all natural. Okay. And then what is the benefits of using that? You've mentioned about lower anxiety, increased focus, and how do you measure that anxiety levels are lower when you're using it? How did that process work?
Well, it's just from feedback that I've had from people.
Okay. So it's like trial and error, a lot of test dummies, that kind of things. Okay.
I mean, I've used them all myself, and I do use them myself. But it's, doctors are not great on anecdotal word for it. Meaning doctors don't go by what people tell them. They go by what the clinical trials say and the literature says. My approach is very different. I listen to what people say. I work in a health shop as well, so I get the feedback from my customers as I'm using them, and then I tweak them accordingly.
Okay.
Obviously, each formula I'm going to do is not going to be detrimental because it's a natural product. but I use the feedback that I get from people to improve it. Also, sitting in a health shop, people will come to me sometimes and say, okay, cool, my son is addicted to drugs. I remember this one case specifically. He was like, all right, cool, what can I use with my son to help him, to feed his brain, to help him with cravings, to help him with withdrawal? So I gave him a whole bunch of different things, 7, 8 different products, and it came to over 2,000 rand. So a person will buy that once, but consistently they're not getting it. Because we as humans, we want a quick fix, we want something simple, we want something we can do every day. So that's where I've tried to concentrate everything into as few capsules as possible. So ideally I would have done 2 capsules, but then I couldn't put in everything that I wanted. So the Nootropic Multi is a 3-capsule supplement, a multivitamin for body and brain, as I say.
Okay, so you take all 3 at the same time, maybe in the morning or in the evening, or what would you say is the ideal method to take it?
Okay, so you're going to use them in the morning. There is an evening one, which is this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sleep is a hard one to crack.
Okay.
But basically at the moment I've got the 3 daytime nootropics, and each of them is suitable for a different sort of body type.
Okay.
Depending on your constitution, you'll either go with the gold or the teal, the bluey green one, or the purple.
Okay.
Basically, they all have the same base ingredients. It's a multivitamin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a carbonated blend, and that carbonated blend consists of NAC.
Yeah, these do.
Aglatine, glucuronolactone, taurine, coenzyme Q10, and then there'll be one individual ingredient which is different.
Mm-hmm.
So on the golds, the one ingredient that's in there particularly, and not in the others, is called DMAE.
Okay.
From me. So that's been for me a favorite nootropic. Salal many years ago brought out a DMAE, and it was just, I just really loved it. Just kind of wakes up your brain. From my experience, wakes up your brain. They've used it for kids for autism and ADHD. So gold, I would say, is the best seller.
Okay.
People seem to like that best, and it's the one that gets the quickest results. It's
Okay.
feel the fastest. And I normally recommend to people to take 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You can either do it on an empty stomach, or you can take it with carbohydrates.
Okay.
It's sort of great to take it with a protein meal. So like bacon and eggs wouldn't be ideal because there's amino acids in here.
All right.
Things have amino acids,
Mm-hmm.
and they compete for absorption.
Okay.
So it's best taken with carbohydrates, like fruit juice or oats in the morning. You can also take it on an empty stomach, which is great. Because I generally intermittent fast, and a lot of multivitamins you can't do on an empty stomach because it's just going to upset your stomach. So this one just works really nicely on an empty stomach. So it's great for people doing intermittent fasting. So that's the gold one.
Okay.
Then we've got the purple one over here, which is the defining ingredient on there is the acetyl L-carnitine. You'll see I've highlighted them there. So the acetyl L-carnitine in purple. That's
Okay.
just from the other ingredients are the same.
Okay.
So the acetyl L-carnitine is good for the liver. It's good for the skin. I've had people tell me that it's helped them with weight management, although I don't sell supplements for weight management.
Okay.
I've been told that it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. People who do well with this is kids, children who are in the study,
Yeah.
who don't want to go on Ritalin or have been on Ritalin, tend to do well on this. I had a gentleman come off of crystal meth.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a bit more of a stimulant.
Mm-hmm.
For those who like that sort of feeling. So that's that one. Some people, everybody's a little bit different. So for some people, this could cause a bit of insomnia. Some people, I'm just telling you everything about this. It can cause an afternoon crash in some people.
Okay.
Other people just love it and they do really well. I've had some people who said it's better when they're on it.
Okay.
Because it causes insomnia.
Yeah. But
From person to person, not all the same. Yeah.
so why does the side effects differ? Is there any reason for that? Does it depend on your body, or what's the reason for that?
Different constitution.
Is it?
For example, even with herbs, I do find that. So, for example, valerian, which is a herb which people use for sleep. I myself, if I take valerian, I'm buzzing until 3 in the morning. I can't sleep.
Okay.
And I know other people, yeah. So valerian works well for some people, and it doesn't for other people. It's just kind of something I found with supplements. They can go either way.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's also how these 3 were developed, because I started off with one.
Mm-hmm. Which was your first one?
So it's not here. The first one
Okay.
I developed, I had no label on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah.
Was that how I keep caption?
Okay. So you don't try.
Yeah, and so that one is, and it's coming back. I've got a lot of people.
They wanted it. Yeah, now.
So that one had quite a drive.
When was that? When did you develop it?
I placed my order on the 4th of February 2019 is when I placed my order.
Yeah.
And the first one really came to the bar tube. I don't know why it took so long, but yeah, came out to the bar tube. I made 110 bottles. I gave away 100.
You did go to people, just try it.
No label, no ingredients. I just used it. Yeah, it was quite fun. But, so I got great feedback on that from a lot of people. But a lot of people didn't like it because it was a bit too much for that.
Okay.
You know, so I had one guy who said, no, I feel like I want to go to a club and just...
Okay.
I'm a Joel. Not raving.
So, like that? Others not so. So then I thought, okay. So I need to tone it down. But there's 23, 24 different ingredients in there. So it's a bit tricky to kind of really know what to change.
Yeah.
So how I developed this is obviously my understanding of biochemistry, my understanding of selling supplements over the last few years and getting feedback from people and my own experience of it. I would say a lot of it is intuitive as well. There's definitely intuitive process in this. So what I did in the original one is I took out, I think there's 4 ingredients and I took out all at the same time. And then that resulted in a version which was pretty much a day.
Okay.
I toned it down too much. People couldn't feel it. It's still a great multivitamin, but the multivitamins you generally don't feel anyway.
Yeah.
But people like the feeling. People like to take something you feel, okay, this is doing something, because then they get that immediate feedback. So I toned it down, and it was toned down too much. So then I made another 3 versions of that, 4 versions, 3 versions before I was really happy with it. But that's been a great process because in doing that, I understand glycine a lot better. I understand vitamin K2 a lot better. I understand molybdenum a lot better. And I understand acetyl-L-carnitine a lot better. So it's taught me a lot.
But that's a few big names that you're throwing around there. Are you going to explain them for us or what?
You're just filling your...
Okay, so let's get to that. So now when I toned it down, I realized actually there's 2 products here. I realized there's one calming one, which is the teal one, the turquoise purple blue one. And then I realized, but that original one is still nice. So it's still different to that because it's a bit more stimulating, but let's tweak that slightly as well. So then the result of that was the teal nootropic and the purple one. So then I had those 2 for quite a while. And using that, it was great. But then I still had people telling me that they don't feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some people, it takes a while. Like, for example, and it depends once again on the person's constitution. Some people will take 3 of these and they'll be like, that's too strong.
Okay.
Others won't feel it until 2 months in.
Okay.
Which brings me to another point which is important, is that this is a course. It's not a take it once and that inflicts all the pain. It's we're trying to bring about a biochemical equilibrium in the body. We're trying to replenish deficiency, and that might take a while. Certainly in my case, I had to take it every day for about 9 months before I would say, and it's hard to measure something like that, but I would say it really took me 9 months to kind of rebalance everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt it from the first time. 3 months was a good milestone. 6 months was a good milestone. But people don't always want to hear that because a lot of people...
The quick fix, sure. And do you take all of them, or what do you generally take on a day?
Most people, and it can differ from time to time. Like I do well with that.
Okay.
Because I've been in my life prone to irritability and I would say anxiety.
Okay.
So this is the one that generally works well for me. Other people will do better on the purple. Other people will do better on the gold.
Okay.
So I had these 2 first for a while. And then I still had those people who were like, I don't feel it. So then I was like, all right, cool. So what do I need to do? I need to find a nutrient that's number 1, endogenous, and number 2, works at a very small dosage. Because I can't take something that you need 4 grams to 3. It's not possible. So then I was like, all right, cool. What about the DMAD that I used to like so much? So then I made that, and then that's turned out to be a very popular one, my bestseller, as I said. So there's the 3, and then the original one, which I did, I'm going to come out with later. I've already designed the label, but it's all a matter of timing, and everything's got to be, I'd like to get them in the ducks in a row, so you can make sure everything's nicely in order.
What is the process of like making these and producing it and so on? Is it but it's like probably a big process to do.
So I've got a lab that I'm working with that's been manufacturing on things for many years. And they handle all the accreditation and
okay.
audited. So I handle the label design, mostly my own ideas on what to do the labels. I've got a few graphic designers who've helped me with the logo and putting it together. So I do the labels, and the label itself is quite a process because there's only so much space on the
to fit everything on.
To fit everything in, and to reduce what I know about the product from what I've experienced myself. I've had a lot of friends who've used it and people who've used it to be quite articulate in their explanation of what it's done for them. So I've learned a lot from other people who've used it. So then to incorporate all of that knowledge and succinctly put it on a label has been quite tricky. So I've spent a lot of money changing labels. And then I've got the lab who manufactures formulas.
Oh, okay. So you provide the formula for them, and then they manufacture it accordingly to your formula.
Correct.
Okay. And when you first started, you said that there maybe were a few problems with the formula. How does the process work to go back and forth to the lab to fix it a bit? How does that work?
So there's obviously a minimum order that they do for me. So a lot of the time, like this last batch that I did on the sleep formula, I actually just told them to please discard it. So it's quite a bit of money because I took a few capsules from that, tried it out myself, gave it to a few friends, wasn't happy with it, so I discarded the batch. It's a bit. I would say my business is still very much in a research and development phase in fact, because I'm firstly a biochemist, I would say.
Yeah.
Secondly, a businessman. So I'm still trying to get this all perfect. So that it'll be back and forth, and that's why it's taken me so many years. There's been a lot of products that I've made that have gone into this. For example, I've got skin, hair, nails products. That was my first commercial product, was a hair, skin, and nails, because I started losing my
Okay.
And then I've done liver detox stuff, and I've done stuff for bodybuilders. And with each, so for example, the liver detox is very important for estrogen dominance and estrogen balance, which is important for bodybuilders. And it's important for your overall health. So men also have estrogen, of course. We've got estrogen, testosterone. So I've incorporated the liver detox into here as well. So let's do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 liver detox. So liver detox is got different processes, and a lot of supplements will focus on phase 1 and phase 2. I've put in something in here that helps with phase 3 as well.
Okay.
So it's been many years of trial and error, making supplements, learning how to do labels, learning the mistakes, the pitfalls. And then I would say in about 2016, again, I got very interested in specifically brain formulas. And then I started developing that. And then 2019, the first one came out. And then in the few years since then, I've now got the 3 with the sleep formula. But I don't want to get the range too big.
Okay.
I want to keep it as simple as possible and no simpler. So I want to have something that everybody I feel can use. And then, of course, you can add other supplements to it. My range in no way takes away from herbal supplements or anything else that you're taking. It's been designed to work with other things.
Okay. Is there any clashes with products that you have encountered, maybe with normal medicine? Is there anything?
I would say yes. In terms of, there's an ingredient in all of my product, all of my nootropics, which is called agmatine sulfate. So agmatine is something that was discovered more than 100 years ago by a German biochemist called Albrecht Kossel. And it's taken us more than 100 years to realize that agmatine's most likely a neurotransmitter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's big news, because we've always been focusing on the serotonin, dopamine, adrenaline, all of these sort of things. And agmatine is a virtual unknown. Bodybuilders might know it a bit better because it helps to increase circulation and nitric oxide production. But the thing that really fascinates me about it is that it's a neurotransmitter. And it seems to be, I would say it's a little bit of magic, really. And making claims. You can't really make claims, but in the world we're living in. But I would say that nicotine has made me more creative. I find it helps with cravings. And it was almost the last ingredient in the nootropic. It is something that I came across. I had a theory, and I just followed that theory, and I thought, it's this, then that. And then I started researching it, and I found that everything is amazing.
Yeah, and so you added it.
So what it does, it seems to, and like I say, I can't really measure these things, but in my experience, it seems to turn everything on, and it makes everything stronger. So it enhances effects, but it also, I find, it enhances side effects. So I've had people take the nootropic or on heavy psychiatric meds, and it kind of, I would say, increases the side effects.
Okay.
So also, when taken with alcohol, it's good. Okay. Which is, in a way, is good, because I've got a lot of people who start taking the nootropic and they just stop drinking alcohol.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
That actually helps.
Yeah, I mean, you do that, you get that to enough people, enough people not drinking alcohol, it's going to have an effect. So that's why I'm very passionate about what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I can hear every time you say you want to perfect it and you want to make sure it's perfect. So that's very nice of you to make sure everything is perfect. Yeah, that's.
When I'm working in a house shop and I'm trying to sell something to someone, if I sell something that's not quite right,
Yeah.
I'm there to help.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people in the world that just like, take it and give me the money, take it, yeah.
I've never money.
Yeah, so that makes a difference.
Okay. And let's talk about this aspect, the business aspect, just giving people things. What kind of ethics comes in here? What kind of ethics do you practice to make sure people get the right things out there? You just don't take the money and go on. What kind of personal ethics do you have with that regard?
Well, I think first and foremost is just to make sure that the product is right. You know what I mean? That if our product is right, and I also try and empower the people that are working for me or with me, because I can't do this myself.
Yeah.
I know my strengths and my weaknesses. So I've got people who are working with me on the website as well. I've got my team helping me with that. So I involve the right people for the job.
Okay.
Not people who want to make money. I involve people who are passionate about it, and people who want to see other people doing it.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah,
and that seems to work,
And then, how did you get involved with Nootropic Nations then? Because it's now a totally separate company. Yeah, how did you get involved with them?
Well, Hans approached me and had a great idea, and I've always had a bit of an interest in bodybuilding, and so Hans is obviously quite big in that industry. And then we just sort of started collaborating.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hans is doing his magic, which only he can do, and I'm working with stuff and exciting.
Okay. And then, if you could recommend maybe only one product for somebody in the general life, they go to the job, they maybe struggle to focus from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they have a bit of stress, maybe a bit of financial stress, the typical person. Which one of them would you recommend?
So any one of these will help with any of that.
Obviously, except the financial problem.
That job.
Yeah, that job.
Help the other problems, maybe that will help.
So you'll see that they all get you into flow states. So the gold one is energy flow, the purple one is focused flow, and the teal one is calm flow. So it's very difficult to kind of say it's only for that, it's only for that. But generally a person would, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a package of 3 where a person can buy 3 at a discounted price, so that they can have a 3-month supply, so that they can see after the first month, listen, the gold is improved.
Yeah, and they can try the others.
And then they can try the others. You know what I mean? And after 3 months, you should be able to feel what it's doing. Another thing I'm going to be doing is drawing up a chart, so that, let's say 200 questions where a person can answer various questions about themselves. How do I feel when I wake up in the morning? How do I handle like somebody cutting me off in traffic? How's my relationship with my wife? That sort of thing.
Yeah, like a test of that's nice.
The whole thing. And then you can graph it into different areas of your life. Because sometimes we're not aware of what's changing in our health. It's like when we get fat, it's like one day you wake up and you're like, shit, I'm fat. It'd be worth it.
Yeah.
So we don't always notice the changes in ourselves.
No.
Notice that particularly with the nootropic, because it's subtle, but that subtlety extended over a period of time can really change your life. You know, if you're sleeping better over a period of time, if you're not drinking alcohol anymore, if you're not so stressed out anymore, if you're not getting upset with people as much. And
everything makes a difference.
Everything makes a difference. And what I do find is that it kind of separates me from the being stuck in my emotions, you know, because I've been a very emotional human being sometimes, and it gets a bit much, you know. So this is just giving me that space to breathe, and I can focus, and I can think, is this way, isn't this bit? No, it's not worth it, you know. So anyone will benefit from any one of these, but I would say what I generally do to a person is I have them read the back, because the description in the gold is slightly different to the description in the purple, the description in the teal. Have them read that, and then I let the person decide for themselves. I've often told the person to take this, and then it's sort of the right thing. So it's in a person having their own instinct, intuitive
own choice.
Yeah, and then I also try and tell people, you know, find the one that works for you, and that might change. You know, if you wake up and you're not feeling energized, you can take the purple. But if you've got a meeting one day, you can take the gold. If you're just irritable, take the teal. It was okay. It will vary from time to time, but I do think everybody has their own sort of blend that they prefer.
Okay. And then, why do you think in today's life people want that kind of extra bit of a boost? But why do you think that the lifestyle is that people need something extra, they need something better, they need something to give them a boost, to give them an edge? Why do you think that's the case these days?
I think we've been disconnected from our fundamental nature. I think the food that we eat is primary. You see, these are supplements. So supplements means in addition to, so in addition to what? Proper diet, proper exercise, your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you view other people, your judgments, our biases, you know, all of these things have an effect on how we feel. If you're always stressed out, your cortisol levels are going to go up. Your body's not going to function. So I think that's a whole other discussion, which is also part of what I'm trying to do here. It's a lifestyle thing. I'll help you guys with the supplements. You take care of your diet, you take care of your exercise. And then I'm also putting together a bit of a pack that we won't go into that now, about certain things that one can do to improve your life, you know. One of the things I think is important to mention is why did I go into supplements? Well, biochemistry was something I loved in school. And when it was time to go to varsity, because it was like you're going to varsity, that was the logical thing. It was, my parents were, okay, so what do you want to do? So I just did what I felt like, you know. What I loved was biochemistry. So I didn't think about careers and things like that. I just wanted to do it. And then I thought to myself one day, having struggled with my own issues, I was like, you know, if I don't sleep well, I'll wake up cranky, you know. If I take a mind-altering substance, it changes the way that I feel now. So often in spiritual, religious circles, the body is denigrated and the body is seen as this sideline thing that you don't want to worry about. But I started thinking, if I do these physical things, it changes my mood. So how much of what we're going through is physical? And I think a lot. I think this body and spirituality are intimately tied together, more so than we might think. For example, the whole chakra system, the 7 chakras in the body. These are things that ancients knew about. These are things that people were aware of. We're not aware of them these days because we're all left brain analytical and very logical, but we forget the heart, and we forget our instincts, and we forget our connection with nature.
Okay.
So that's why I started to try and do something, and although I've been told the one size fits all can't be possible, I'm striving towards that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's all endogenous nutrients and it's just nourishments. I think I've successfully done that, and I really want to get this to as many people as I can, because I think if people handle their diet, their exercise, their spirituality, and their supplementation, life will be better for all.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good outlook on life, and I think on this note, let's pause the recording on this note. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was great. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay, I'll just edit it in, but just tell me, where can people find the products? Where can people find you, maybe reach out to you, contact you about the products? Where is that? Where can people get to you?
So Nootropic Nation, just find the website, and then go into Nootropic Nation. You can order it from there. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel myself at some point, so we'll get onto that. and that would be the Nootropic Multi. That would be the website there. So yeah.